The Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively feud has continued. And before I go any further, I had someone comment, and I'm not calling you out because it's funny. Someone commented basically saying, it's Baldoni, like pepperoni. It rhymes with pepperoni. You keep saying Baldoni. And to that person, I say, thank you very much. I'm from Rhode Island. I'm Italian. I'm going to say Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni. That's how we would talk. So I'm going to keep calling him Baldoni. I'm sorry if it really bothers you. Sorry. So Blake Lively's legal team has issued subpoenas to crisis PR firm consultant Jed Wallace, along with several telecom companies, to prove whether or not Justin Baldoni has the quote-unquote receipts, right? That's something he's claimed. He's like, oh, her claims are false. They're provably false. I have all the texts. I have all the receipts. We're going to prove that Lively was wrong. So Lively's now saying, okay, well, we're going to now get those receipts. Lively's lawyers put out a statement saying, quote, Miss Lively has initiated discovery that will expose the people, tactics, and methods that have worked to destroy and bury her reputation and family over the past year. Subpoenas went out to the entities above. We will now receive all of the receipts that, unsurprisingly, are nowhere to be found on Mr. Brian Freeman's website. Brian Freeman is Baldoni's lawyer, and the website they're referring to, they created a website called thelawsuitinfo.com. You can go look it up, basically outlining their argument against Lively. Continuing with the quote, we will now receive all of the receipts that unsurprisingly are nowhere to be found on Mr. Brian Freeman's website, and like Miss Lively, those receipts will have their day in court, end quote. Of course, Brian Freeman responded back. He clapped back, as the kids say. He clapped back, saying, quote, subpoenas are an ordinary part of the litigation process. What is extraordinary is what the Lively parties are seeking. They are asking for every single call, text, data log, and even real-time location information for the past 2.5 years, regardless of the sender, recipient, or subject matter. This massive fishing expedition demonstrates that they are desperately seeking any factual basis for their provably false claims. They will find none, end quote. So again, this is just the next and newest battle in this feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I'm not going to go into every single detail. The short TLDR, she has accused him of sexual harassment and a coordinated smear campaign against her. He, in turn, has accused her of defamation. There's a couple other parties involved being sued, other accusations being made, but that's kind of the broad gist of it. And, if you're I don't want to say a fan, if you're a student of history and you're a student of World War II, and a lot of wars are like this. There's different, what we call theaters. Basically just means like different locations or elements of the war. So, like in World War II, there was the European theater and then there was the Pacific theater, right? This is similar, that it has two very distinct theaters of war. There's the legal theater of war and the public theater. The public has been seeing a lot of action. It's a lot of the stories I've been doing on the channel have been public comments, public accusations back and forth. This is one of the few, we haven't really had a legal development in a little bit. And so this is kind of a new development here. So the details of the subpoenas, they're subpoenaing, would that be the subpoenaing, right? AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, saying, quote, phone records belonging to all the individual defendants will expose the full web of individuals who were involved in the smear campaign against Miss Lively. Such records will provide critical and irrefutable evidence not only about who, but also about when, where, and how their retaliation plan came together and operated, end quote. They're also issuing subpoenas to Cloudflare Incorporated and AOL, saying, quote, internet records will show the involvement of different persons who might be playing key roles in digital retaliation, end quote. Regarding Jed Wallace, right, that PR consultant who's also getting subpoenaed, a Lively spokesperson said, quote, in their internal private messages that Baldoni's team never expected anyone to see, they bragged that thanks to Jed's work, they saw a shift in the narrative to putting a spotlight on Blake and laughed at how sad it was that people so easily want to hate on a woman. We look forward to investigating more about Jed Wallace's entire business model and what else he was doing to distract from the very real sexual harassment and retaliation claims made by Miss Lively. We are delighted to be able to start discovery on it, end quote. I didn't pull the quote here, but Jed Wallace responded basically being like, I don't know what I'm being sued for because I never entered into any contract with Blake Lively, so I didn't commit any crimes. I didn't breach the contract. I didn't retaliate against her for bringing up civil rights issues. So he's kind of like, I don't know why I'm being roped up into this. Like, I mean, we know why, because he's part of the campaign, but it doesn't seem like there's really any grounds to be suing him. But I guess the idea is that they're just issuing him a subpoena so they can get the info on Baldoni. And again, like I said, this is the first real legal development we've had in some time, so this move is welcome, right? I'm tired of this PR, he said, she said. This PR BS. Public relations bullshit, if you wanted to know what that meant. Like, at this point, I'm like, let's put some actual evidence on the table. A leaked voice memo is not evidence. The video of the takes on set demonstrating, whether or not Baldoni was crossing a boundary, that's not evidence. I want actual hard evidence. Though perhaps the strategy is overblown. Again, I'm not, I don't know all the facts. I don't know all the details. More is going to keep coming out about this. But, I got a quote here from one of Baldoni's lawyers, Mitchell Schuster. He called the request, quote, wildly disproportionate to the needs of the case and unnecessarily invades the privacy of untold numbers of third parties, including family, friends, business partners, and quite literally any other person with whom any of the targets have communicated with over a period of years, end quote. So his argument is basically, it's a little invasive. You kind of, instead of trying to find the needle in the haystack, you're just asking for the whole haystack. And there might be stuff there that, they don't want people to see, not because there's anything illicit, just because it's private messaging. Or they're arguing this because they know they don't have the receipts and they don't want them to be found out, right? So it's all relative, it's all subjective. We really don't know until we, again, see more of this info. And again, there's still a lot of time. We still have more than a year into the actual trial, which isn't scheduled until March 2026, like the very end of March as well. Though the judge has threatened to move the case up if both sides keep trading public jabs at each other. But I would imagine that both will become a little more disciplined. At least the side, if they truly feel like they're right, they will shut up. If they don't think they're right, they will, again, I truly believe both sides think they're right. And both sides probably are right. I didn't cite this as a source, but I don't know how a reporter ran an op-ed that, again, information might come out later that might make what I'm about to say seem really dumb in hindsight and siding with kind of trying to both sidesism the situation. But the op-ed was basically, the theme of the op-ed was basically, look, it seems like both of them kind of did stuff that they shouldn't have, and that I really wouldn't want to work with either of them. But, ultimately there will be more chess moves in this game. This is not over, as I keep saying, and I keep getting proven right. Wow, what an interesting story. I'm sure you have some thoughts about the topic, so comment below, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really helps people find the channel and makes me feel all warm inside. Until next time, I'm Peter Mancuso. Peace out.